What is up, everybody? Omar from Team Earthring with another deck profile for you. And so today I'm going to be covering over the Pikachu updated version with some of the cards of from Cosmic Eclipse. Now I didn't get a whole lot of new cards, but some of the cards that it did get, I think it's going to make it still viable for this current meta that's going to be happening, and it's going to be able to keep up with everything else. So we're going to get into our Pokemon lineup first. Of course, we're going to be running the 2-count Pikachu here. And this is a great card. The full Blitz, get some energies out, do some damage. The Tapu Koko GX, do some 200 damage to the active. If you got additional energies onto it, you're able to hit one of your opponent's bench Pokemon for 170. So it allows you to get ahead of the prizes as well. It's a great card to have. Ever since it's been out, it's been amazing. And this is the guy you're going to use to charge up the other Pokemon pretty fast as well. So for our other Pokemon we got one copy of the Raichu and Alolan Raichu. This card is great ever since it came out. It's got a higher HP as well. Mainly this guy, we're running 1 count here because everything that's coming out with this new set has 270 or above HP. And the Lightning Ride GX on this, for 5 energies, you're able to do 250, 1 electric power, that's 280. So that gets you a lot of knockouts. You know, in the current format, it's going to be changing here after post rotation. So this is a 1 count right here. It's going to be great because you're also able to stun your opponent for you paralyze them with the first attack. If you bring it up, it does more damage, so it's a great card to have, and you're going to be using this to get one of those pretty price knockouts as well. So on to, of course, our next card here is 1 copy of Zeraora for the ability to be able to move your Pokemon around that have electric energies on them. And this, of course, everything in here is electric pretty much. So just 1 copy is good. It's just a great card to have in this deck. It allows you for mobility, be able to pivot, be able to switch Pokemon, be able to allow your Raichu to use his first attack to his full potential as well, or get one of your hurt Pikaroms out of the active too. So on to our next Pokemon lineup, or count, I'm sorry. We're going to be running 3-count Dedenne here. We want to make sure we're able to set up, we want to make sure we're able to get bad spots and just be able to go through this deck like gas. You just want to set up as fast as possible with this deck, and this is what this deck is meant to be. Just as soon as possible, you hit the board, you want to get going with it, be able to charge up, get those energies on your Pokemon, and start spreading some damage. So that's why we're running a 3-count here to help you dig into your deck and make that happen. So one of the new additions to this deck from the new set, it's going to be the Mega Lopunny and Jigglypuff card. Now, at first, when I first saw this card, I was wondering how was this going to be playable. But the first attack is actually quite amazing. It's able to hit for 60 plus for every GX your opponent has on the board. It's another additional 60. So with 2 GXs on the board, including the 60 that it does by itself, it's 180, 3 is 240, 4 300 damage. So you're able to use this card to get your second tag team knockout with some of these current Pokemon that are going to be having. Now they're going to have 270, 280 HP and above. So this guy helps you get those knockouts because you don't even have to use your GX for it, and it's easily charged in this deck because you're able to attach energies with either energy switches, Tapu Koko, or full Blitz as well. I'm sorry, not Tapu Koko, but full Blitz, energy switches, manual attachment. It's easy in this deck to do it, to get 3 energies as fast as possible. Not a problem for this deck, and this is going to help you against those bigger meta tag team GX decks that there is out there right now. So we're going to be going into our baby Pokemon. We're going to be running 1 copy of Tapu Koko. Now this another great card, allows you to Zen it to the lost zone and get 2 energies from your discard pile and put it onto your bench Pokemon. You have to split it up, but that's great because it allows you to get those energies on your Pokemon on 1 turn pretty fast as well. So of course, for our next card, we're going to be running 1 copy of the Hoopa. Now this card is great. We're running it in here because there is going to be a lot of Malamar players still. Malamar did get a lot of good cards, so that's why we're running 1 copy of Hoopa. It helps against that deck tremendously because they're not able to get the knockout unless they spread their spell tag damage onto it or any other damage to it. They spread it on there and they have to use all that damage to take these knockouts because of the resistance, and you're hitting them for weakness. So you're able to at least get 1 or 2 knockouts before it gets this card goes down. So that's why we're running 1 inclusion in here, and I think it's really good. So of course we are also running 1 copy of Mew. Like I said earlier, a mirror match, you want Mew with the new restroom, you want a Mew, you don't want to get sniped, you don't want your opponent to take 4 prizes or even 5 prizes in 1 turn. So that's why we're running 1 copy of it, and it's great to have. And of course, for our last Pokemon, we are going to be running 3 count Jirachi. This just helps you dig into your deck even more with the Stellar Wish, and you have capabilities to pivot. You know, you have Zeraora's ability, you have switches, you have skateboarding here. You're able to use multiple Jirachis in a turn if you want. It just allows you to dig into this deck and get set up as well. So that's why we're running 3, just in case you change one of them away. It's not a problem. You can run 3 in this one. So that is it for our Pokemon lineup. Pretty basic here, guys. Like I said, the only new card in here for the Pokemon lineup was that Mega Lopunny and Jigglypuff here, which is a great addition because it allows you to get those knockouts in a lot of the tag team GXs. I mean, you think about it, the new box, if it's still going to be in the meta, that plays everything's GX in that deck, so you're guaranteed to get a knockout with that Pokemon and then come back in and use Lightning Ride to get the second knockout for your 6 prizes. So that's why we added in here, and I think it's going to be great in this deck. So let's go on to our supporter lineup here for you guys. Okay, so we are going to start off with 4 copies of Volker. Now we're running a higher count because we want to make sure that we're digging into our deck and getting those certain items or certain combo cards that we need, along with the energy to be able to use it. You know, if you get stuck, you'll use Volker to get electromagnetic radar to get you going again. So that's why we're running 4 count. I like it a lot because energy switches, attack switches, anything else that you need, you can fish it out with this guy. And for our second supporter, 3 copies of Cynthia. Now we're running a lower count Cynthia because we have a lot of search mechanics as well. We have 3 Dedennes. You know, we have electromagnetic radars. We have a lot of options to get out of the band hand. And you just want 3 copies of Cynthia just in case you need to reshuffle your deck and draw into some different cards. Most of the time you're hanging on to the cards you have for key knockouts. You're hanging on to combos. So that's why we're running only 3. And so that is it for our supporter. And onto our stadiums here. We are going to be running the 2 count My Center Lab, since there is going to be there's new item cards out there. There's old item cards, tool cards that this is going to affect, especially against the Malamar players, just like I mentioned in one of my other videos with the new fire, or what is it, the Island Challenge Amulet, where you're only taking 1 prize if they have it on there. It can be quite annoying. So this is why we're running 2, especially with the Guardy Sylveon. That's going to be another threat for this deck because it is going to be played because it's weak, or it's the weakness for Reshiram, so it's going to be seen a lot of play. So that's why we're running 2 of that, just in case they want to play their pesky charms on this deck. You're running 2 copies of that just to knock it off, to really get some knockouts here. And of course, we are running 1 copy of the Thunder Mountain to help you set up faster and be able to use your attacks faster as well. So that's it for our stadiums and supporters. Onto our item count here. We're going to be running 3 electromagnetic radars. We bumped it down to 3 from 4 because we do have a new card that we're going to be adding in this. And this card right here allows you to fish out your electric GX Pokemons and get them going. It's great because you discard two cards from your hand. It lets you search out 2 electric GX Pokemon or EX Pokemon. So it's a great card to have in this deck, and it just helps you that much to set up faster. If you need Dedennes, if you need your Zeraora, that's the card you're going to use. And also allows you to get those energies in the discard pile where you can use Tapu Koko. So the new addition that we switched out one of the electromagnetic radars is the new Tag Whistle. Now the Tag Whistle is really cool because it allows you to search up for tag team Pokemon. And sometimes you don't want to discard what you have in your hand, and so it allows you to fish out your Raichu, Alolan Raichu, your Pikachu, and your new Mega Lollipop and Jigglypuff out. So it's a great card to have. Like I said, you don't have to discard anything for it. You just use it and get them out. To our other switch mechanic for our Pokemon, we have 2 copies of Pokemon Communication, which helps us get our Jirachis, helps us get our Hoopas, helps us get our Mews, or anything else that's not electric. It helps it get it out. So that's why we're running 2 counter here. You go through your deck pretty fast. You're able to electromagnetic radar or either Tag Whistle a Pokemon and send one back in, so you can search out one of those basic Pokemon out with Pokemon Communication. So on to our power-up cards right here. We're going to have 4 copies of Electropower. This has been a great card since it's been out. It just adds that more damage. It's the only card that adds damage to one of your Pokemon, and it just happens to be with Electric type. So you're definitely gonna be running 4 because there's a lot of new tag team Pokemon out there that you need at least one of these cards or even 2 to get those knockouts, and you want to one-hit knockout these Pokemon to take full advantage of it. So that's what we're running 4. Okay, so on for our gusting effect Pokemon or gusting effects here. We are running a lot actually. We're running a 4-count custom catcher. This is going to help you against those single prize attacker decks. This is going to help you against some Malamar decks or anything else. It also allows you to dig into your deck if you need to. You're going through this deck pretty fast. Being able to draw up to 3 cards helps a lot as well. So this is why we're running 4 in here. Especially against Malamar players, you want to bring up the Malamar so you can tag bolt it for 200 damage and take out another Malamar, and just slows them that much down. So that's why we're still running the 4-count custom catchers in here, along with, of course, the new card that just came out, the Great Catcher. So we're running a lot of pulling up your opponent cards here, guys. The Great Catcher is for the GX Pokemon, and it's just one less, it's one less card that you need for the combo that you need to pull off a combo actually. So that's why we're running 2. You'll be able to cover both areas here with these 2 sets of cards right here, guys. So on to the other cards that we have. We're running 1 copy of the skateboard since we do have some switch mechanics. We do have Zeraora, so 1 is enough. You're mainly only going to have 1 Jirachi on the bench or either in the active, so that's why we're only running 1. You're able to get that card out with Volkners, all the Volkners that you're running here, so whenever you need it, it's easily searchable and to be able to get it out. Now for our energy movements, to be able to move some energies around, we are running some stuff. Sorry about that. We are running a 2-count energy switch, and this is after you use your Tapu Kokos or your full Blitz. You're able to move some energies around with this card, and that's why we're running 2 in here. You won't need a lot because you're running such a high count of Volkner. It's easily searchable. You're going through your deck as well, so you can get them pretty fast. And of course, we are running 1 count of tag switch when you need to move more than just 1 energy from a different GX or tag team GX to another one. This is the card that we're going to use, so we're running 1 copy of that. Now for our pivot mechanics here, we are running 3 copies of switch. Like I said earlier, we're only running 1 skateboard because we got Zeraora, and the switch is really to get those Jirachis out of there. Anything that you don't want to waste an energy on it, that's why it's there for. And we're running 3. The 3 count's really good in this deck. Of course, disruption here, we're running 1 copy of reset stamp to bring down your opponent's hand size down to possibly 3, 1, or whatever prizes they have left. It just adds, it could add that extra turn that you need for the knockout and for the win. So that's why we're running 1 here. And the other card that we like in this deck is the Stadium Nav. You roll some coins, or you flip some dice, or however you want to. You get, for each head, you get to search your deck for a stadium, so it just adds more abilities to get the stadiums out when you need them. When you need your Thunder Mountain or your Lysander's Lab, or just get them out of the deck to be able to Diddy change into something good that you need. So that's why we're running that. Okay, so that is it for our item count. Like I said, not a whole lot has been added. I think only 3 new cards from the new set plus the Pokemon, so that's 4 new cards from the new set that was added into this deck, but I think it's still going to make it viable to be played in the meta. So I'll leave it up to you to decide if it's going to be good or not. This is the deck idea that I had to make it still viable in this format that's going to be coming up, especially since it's going to be crazy with all these Pokemon that are hitting crazy numbers and so fast with it. And of course, for our energy count, we got 5, 1 more. So 11 energy count is great in this deck. You won't need more than 11. You're able to just keep going with these energies. You're able to get some energies back with Tapu Koko. If you need to, you can use Zeraora's GX attack to get some energies back as well. So 11 is great because it allows you to get those energies when you need them, and then also when you don't need them, you're able to fish them out pretty fast with this deck right here. So that's why we're running the 11 count here, guys. So that is it for the deck profile that we have for the Pikachu updated list. And like I said, I'll leave it up to you. If you like it, you test it out, leave some comments, or either options or tech options as well in the comments, so we can get some of these videos going for you guys even more. Alright guys, so I appreciate you guys watching the video, and I'll keep you posted on the next ones that we got coming up. Peace out.